Last week, a student was kicked out from Yale because they found out that she was lying about significant details on her college application. And if you're a regular person, you're probably pretty shocked by this. You probably never heard of somebody being kicked out of college because they lied on an application. But if you work in admissions, you know this happens all the time. Every single year, there are dozens of students who are either having their acceptances rescinded or otherwise removed from colleges because they fabricated details on a college application. You can't do that. But it begs the question, why are so many students lying on their college applications? And the thing that I don't see people who work in admissions talking about enough is that this has actually become an epidemic. Ever since COVID, the fact checking on college applications has really gone out the window. And if we're being honest, the school partners, normally your guidance counselor and other people at these schools would do a lot of the fact checking for admissions officers. And if you go to a regular American high school, it's definitely happening. But the thing people don't like talking about is that high schools outside the US and even a lot of high schools inside the US in the past few years have been aiding and abetting students who are completely fabricating details. They'll change grades sometimes. They'll go and let them get away with completely making up stories on their essays and other features of their applications. And the amount of fact checking that admissions officers are going to now have to do to compensate for the work that schools should have been doing is going to be insane. And this is something that Yale actually had to announce now. They're going to be changing their fact checking rules going into the next cycle because they can't trust the school partners to verify those details on the application. It's just become too much. And the worst part of it too is that, for every student that gets caught, there's dozens of students who don't get caught. And you can see this if you actually go over to Reddit, you see people bragging about this, about all the different details, titles, and other experiences they completely made up in the past few years in their college applications and then somehow still got into Ivy League schools. And frankly, it's demoralizing for the students who are working super hard to get those kinds of achievements to then be edged out by somebody who can just totally make the whole thing up. And this is why it's so important that we return back to having some objective standards in college admissions, having some standardized tests, having some metrics that can be verified independently so that the liars are not the ones who get rewarded when it comes to Ivy League admissions.